Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video is a Black Library review. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at one of the many publications brought out by Black Library and giving you our thoughts on the book, audio drama, whatever it happens to be. Now, I will say that we will try to keep this review to as spoiler free as possible, though there will obviously be points where we talk about things happening in the book. We will try to keep away from saying any of the major plot points, so you can go and read this book for yourself. We'll just give you our thoughts on whether or not we think it is something you may be interested in. So we'll use this video to instruct you on maybe is this sort of going to be a book that you would like to see. With that all said and out the way, let's get cracking on. Let's talk a little bit about the book that we have reviewed this time. In today's Black Library review, we're going to be checking out Soulslayer, the latest Gotrek Gudmundsson novel by Darius Hinks. This one is narrated by Jonathan Keeble. It was a really enjoyable novel to listen to. You can find the Audible version, just went up last week. The main book has been out for a while, but as always, I like to listen to the audio just because I like to do it while I'm painting, while I'm doing some other hobby, and it was really well narrated, as always, by Jonathan Keeble on the Gotrek stories. It did take, a little bit of getting used to when I first heard Gitslayer by him, where we didn't have Brian Blessed's voice voicing Gotrek after the first, Realm Slayer, which was fantastic, but he does do a fantastic job and has brought the characters to life really well. So I think I'm pretty used to his voice now as Gotrek and Malineth and all the other amazing characters that take part in this story. It was really, really enjoyable to listen to. Darius, this was another solid book, I think, straight from the get-go. It's Gotrek, what else do you want? Let's see and let's chat more about everyone's favourite not Fire Slayer. And so, setting the scene for our story, having left the Caradron overlords of Barak Urbaz after some sort of disagreement, it doesn't really go into detail all too much of what the disagreement was. Last time we saw Gotrek was best buddies with the Caradron, and apparently over a drunken fight, he had an argument with some Caradrons, and now calls them a bunch of, cowards and oath breakers. But anyway, him and his trusty companion, Malineth the Witchblade, they are heading out across the mortal realms now and across Tremont, and heading out into the wilds of that realm. And this brings them to this seaside village they end up finding, where the entire populace are dead, but not dead at the same time. They have no sort of wounds or anything on them, yet they just lay there lifeless, no sort of look in their eyes, just these blank, dead-eyed stares. And searching for answers, they eventually go to the local Fire Slayer Lodge, which they then find out has been cursed. And from there, we get our story. Now, of course, this curse and, all these lifeless bodies, this is the Ironef doing, but from there we see how the Ironef have put a plan into motion to bring about the destruction of those around them. And so, what is this book's purpose? Well, obviously, this is the next story in the Gotrek Gudmundsson saga. His multiple world-spanning saga, as he's, from the old world. And it sees us take a look as the Ironef Deepkin as the enemy, giving us, a different sort of enemy. We've seen him take on ghouls, we've seen him take on chaos and Skaven and death and a whole bunch of evil creatures, but not too often do we see him fight, someone who is supposed to be on the same side as him. But really, this story, more than anything, I think its big purpose is it really pushes that relationship between our two main characters in the saga, Gotrek and Malineth the Witchblade. It pushes that right to the front and really shows you how far they have come since that very first Gotrek Gudmundsson saga in the Mortal Realms. And so, our main characters, it is obvious this is Gotrek Gudmundsson and Malineth the Witchblade. Our two main characters that have been, sort of the center of the story for quite a time now. Gotrek is, the Slayer from the world that was. And then with Malineth Witchblade, the dark elf assassin from, you know, the Canaanite temples that now works for the Order of Azir, or at least is trying to get herself working with the Order of Azir. And so, what does change about our main characters over the story? And we pick up on Gotrek on his newest quest to make a difference in the mortal realms. You know, he is someone who changes his thoughts and opinions and his ideas and what he's going to do in the realms, you know, within multiple different chapters in the same book. He is a very indecisive character, still trying to, I think, learn his place in the mortal realms. But in this one, at the start at least, he wants to make a difference. He wants to show people how to be good in the mortal realms. He believes there is truly good and evil. You can be on the side of good, but not be good. You know, how many of us view Order as a Grand Alliance in Warhammer Age of Sigmar, not being good, but being, you know, on this sort of one side. He wants people to be good, and he wants to show them how you can be good. And so that's at least him at the start. Over the course of the book, we start to see him really go further down this path and show, you know, this to others and really take a strong hold to this view, more so than I think a lot of other views he's taken. On the other hand, Malineth is really becoming more attached to Gotrek as a character. Like, we're finding these two characters really intertwined within the stories, and their bond and their friendship really does grow. And I really do mean friendship. I think that's we're quite at the point now where we get to see them as friends. And so, what does the book do well? And I've spoken about that plenty already in this, but that friendship between the two main characters, it really does draw you in. I think this is something that's been done well within all the Gotrek stories. You really can feel for him. And you indeed really get to feel that connection between him and Malineth in this more than anything, which I think is fantastic. You know, they are two of my favourite characters in all of Black Library fiction. But on top of that, we really get a nice look at the Idoneth, and we get to see how different they are from what we think of normal elves. We get to see, you know, these different views within the Idoneth of different wants out of their lives, different ways to sort of see the future of the Idoneth. And we get some cool looks at how the Idoneth wage war in this as well. You know, with the Ether Sea and people forgetting about them, the nightmare sort of thing they can do where they make people forget who they are, and all the things like, you know, the Ether Sea coming in when they fight and all the things floating around, to leaving soulless bodies, to the psychological warfare they inflict on others. I really, really like this as a look at the Idoneth. I thought it was a fantastic enemy to have within the story, and yeah, that relationship as well just pushed right to the forefront. Who would enjoy it, though? Obviously, if you've read other Gotrek stories, you want to continue reading more Gotrek stories because he is awesome. If you're a fan of Gotrek in the Mortal Realms, or a fan of Gotrek in the world that was, this is another great story for Gotrek. I really enjoyed it. It was a little bit shorter, I think, than the last Gotrek story I listened to, Gitslayer, but this was just another really enjoyable story. If you like Gotrek, you'll enjoy this. It has everything you could want in a Gotrek story. It's got Gotrek front and center being absolutely crazy, while also the smartest character you'll ever meet as well. He might put on this facade of Giant Slayer, but he's incredibly smart as a character. But yeah, another great Gotrek story. And so, in summary, this was a really enjoyable story. Everything you want is in there from a Gotrek story. It's got cool parts of Gotrek. Malineth has her time to shine as well. Really great enemies within the story. I enjoyed the bad guys, which I think really are important in such a single-minded character story like Gotrek. It's important to have strong enemies. This book also just does a really good job at attaching you to the main characters and other characters in the story as well, and really just pulling your emotions around with those characters. And the ending of this, I think, is one of the best endings to a story I've read from Black Library in quite some time. I mean, I got as excited for this as the ending of Gothgul Hollow. When you read that ending of Gothgul Hollow and you got that little bit on that, This was enjoyable. Really, really good ending. I can't wait to see what's next for Gotrek. That's the end of the video, everyone. Thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, drop us a comment down below in the comment section and let us know what you enjoyed about the video and what you'd like to see more of on the channel. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our little community here we have at Cinderful Gaming, you can do so on our Discord server, which is linked in the video's description. Also linked in the video's description is our Patreon and YouTube members where you can go to help support the channel and allow us to keep doing what we're doing. As a special thank you to our Patreons and YouTube members, we'd like to give them all a shout out. So thank you to our Patreons, Christian Weir, Soren, Greenskins Gaming, Kenny Lauer, Outer and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ant, Q Dynamic, Anthony B, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Derek and Giappi390, and to our YouTube members, Green Roots Gaming, Kenton Young, Ronya, Lock Lorick, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Revenar, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Mankiller, and Monty's Tabletop Terrain. And lastly, a special thanks to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork you see on the channel. Thank you all for watching. Once again, stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now, everyone.